According to Andrew Thurman this morning on CoinDesk, we see that the Avalanche Foundation has just got a giant pile of cash to jumpstart liquidity on the Avalanche network for decentralized finance. So Three Arrows Capital and Polychain Capital have participated along with CMS Holdings and Dragonfly Capital in investing in the foundation in order to bring liquidity to this project's DeFi ecosystem. In general, DeFi has kind of lived on the Ethereum network and it's kind of moved over to a few other places like Solana here and there. But for the most part, it's been really hard to get liquidity off of these DeFi apps quickly. And so, what these other blockchains have turned towards is the VC ecosystem and the ability to jumpstart your DeFi project by injecting just millions of dollars. Why do you need to do that? Well, in order to have DeFi function at all, you need to have some base layer of financial reserves within the application itself. Otherwise, it just plainly doesn't work. That's why last summer, a lot of these Ethereum projects, when they were just bootstrapping themselves, issued tokens in order to bring people onto the gravy train. So you saw Compound with its Comp token launch their project. If you deposited stable coins or Ether, you would be compensated in Comp tokens. Price of those Comp tokens rose a ton over the summer, and people are pretty happy with that. They're pretty happy with their investment, which brought other people into the project itself. So interesting to see another player enter the game. Also interesting to see Three Arrows Capital, Polychain Capital, and some of these other VCs getting involved with the Avalanche network. There's a lot of other competitor layer ones out there, or layer zeros, as they're kind of coming into vogue to call themselves. And they're coming to compete with Ethereum. They're trying to take Ethereum's crown jewel, which is the DeFi ecosystem. Zach, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see these base layers sort of vie for mind share. You see these little red, those little red triangles, little red up triangle signifying the Avalanche tribe is growing on Twitter. You have the Solana little circle. I don't know what color they are, but it's like a little circle, a little O. Also another tribe that's growing in strength and might. So it's interesting to see people sort of hitch their wagons to rising stars in the space, and I think Avalanche is clearly becoming kind of one of those ones. So, the fact here that some prominent crypto investors are pumping a pretty large sum of capital into making DeFi on Avalanche a robust experience. Certainly notable, and it's going to be interesting to see if smaller traders follow suit, right? Here's some big figureheads of the trading scene who think that, hey, maybe Avalanche is better than Solana for something like this. Maybe I should try it out. And I think that is what all these networks are betting on. Honestly, they're saying, hey, we have all these tokens sloshing around. Let's make as big a number as we can. I mean, we saw Hedera Hashgraph do this today to the tune of $5 billion worth of HBAR tokens as a way to again. Say that, we're committed to building this network and we think you should come try it out with us. And I think that's what these incentive programs ultimately represent at the end of the day. I don't know, a lot of momentum. There's probably some Avalanche pun that could be made capably, but I'm going to toss that one to Naomi to make it work.
I can't make it work. Will, I saw your hand up. Make that pun work.
No, I have a question for Naomi, actually. You've been in the ecosystem for years, and I'm wondering what your take is on, at this stage in the market cycle, seeing these huge paychecks going to foundations to jumpstart their other projects. Like, Avalanche is halfway through bull cycle right now, and now they're getting all this money to keep the party going. So have you seen this before, and what have been the consequences of that if you have seen it?
Yeah, it's always interesting when years and years ago you hear about these projects and then you interview people, part of them, but they're tiny and you're like, this could be something. And then years later, you see such a huge amount of money go into it and they're still going, It's always heartening, especially having gone through the terrible make your own coin era, the ICO era, different bull cycles where things are just flash in the pan and then they disappear. So it's very clear we're starting to see some projects with legs and longevity. And Emin Gunsera he's a super smart guy. I remember interviewing him years and years ago about this. So very interested to see where Avalanche heads to. It's definitely something I'm keeping an eye on, and it's also something being integrated into other projects, the Avalanche protocol itself. So definitely keeping an eye on that.